What if I told you that the single most powerful thing you can do to prevent a fall has absolutely nothing to do with balance training? It has nothing to do with using a cane and nothing to do with those strength exercises you have likely already tried. It is something far simpler, something hiding inside a movement you already perform thousands of times every single day without even thinking about it. The simple act of walking. There is one specific moment in your stride that has quietly stopped working. It is a moment you cannot see, it is a moment you do not feel, but it is a moment that, once restored, can change how steady you feel on your feet within just a few days. After years of studying how older Americans walk, one finding keeps showing up. A fall almost never happens during the obviously dangerous moments. It is not on the stairs, not on the winter ice, and not while stepping out of the bathtub. Instead, a fall happens during something completely ordinary. Walking across the living room, turning around in the kitchen, or stepping off a curb. In these moments, the person was not being careless. They were not moving too fast. They were simply walking the way they had been walking for the past several years. And the way they had been walking was the actual problem. That hidden moment is called toe off. It is a split second when your back foot pushes against the ground behind you and drives your body forward into the next step. In a healthy walk, the toes press down, the calf fires, and the foot launches you forward. But as the years pass, the calf weakens, the small muscles in the foot lose their firing pattern, and that push slowly disappears. Instead of pushing off, your back foot just lifts. There is no drive and no propulsion. Research in the Journal of Biomechanics measured this exact moment in 612 adults over the age of 70. They found that toe-off power had dropped by an average of 44% compared to adults in their 50s. That is nearly half the power gone. To compensate, your body starts leaning forward, taking shorter steps and shifting weight to the front leg way too early. Every one of those compensations is a fall waiting to happen. The good news is that this is completely fixable. The muscles are just dormant, not gone. Waking them back up does not require a gym, heavy weights, or hours of training. It takes one small change to how you walk, a conscious push from your toes at the end of every single step. The 5 exercises in this video will train your body to do that. They will help you push automatically until it becomes a natural part of your walk. I want you to pay close attention to the number 1 exercise at the end of this list. A 2022 study in the journal Aging, Clinical, and Experimental Research followed 940 adults over 70 for a full year. The group that practiced this single movement 3 times per week saw their fall rate drop by 52% compared to the control group. The movement takes less than 2 minutes. It requires nothing but a wall, and it directly targets the exact muscles that fail in the moment right before a fall happens. Stay with me until the end. If you have not yet subscribed, hit that button and turn on notifications so you never miss content built specifically for you. If you find this video useful, please drop a 1 in the comments. If not, drop a 0 so we can do better next time. Exercise number 5 is the seated toe press. Before you train the toe push while walking, the muscles need to wake up. After years of toe-off weakness, the small muscles in your foot and the calf muscle have lost their firing pattern. The seated toe press rebuilds that connection in the safest possible position with no balance required and 0 risk of falling. You are simply teaching your brain how to talk to your feet again. This exercise matters most for seniors who have not done targeted foot or calf work in years, or for those who feel their feet have gone slightly numb or disconnected during long walks. It is also the perfect starting point for anyone recovering from a stretch of inactivity or surgery. To do this movement, sit in a sturdy chair with both feet flat on the floor. Your knees should be bent at roughly a 90-degree angle with your hands resting on your thighs for support. Without lifting your heel, press the ball of your foot and your toes firmly into the floor. You should feel your calf muscle tighten up. Hold this press for 3 full seconds, then release completely. Rest for 2 seconds, and then press again. Do this 12 times on the right foot, then switch and do 12 on the left foot. Finally, alternate pressing both feet at the same time for another 12 repetitions. Remember, the press is not a stomp. It is a slow, controlled engagement of the muscle. Feel your toes spread slightly as they press down. The most common mistake here is pushing too lightly, because the movement looks small from the outside. If you cannot feel the calf engaging, you are not pushing hard enough. The second mistake is lifting the heel by accident, which turns the press into a different exercise entirely. Make sure to keep the heel planted. The third mistake is rushing through the count, which prevents the muscle from fully firing. A real 3-second hold gives the nervous system time to engage properly. If 3 seconds feels too long at first, start with 2 and build up. The right intensity is a steady, firm pressure that you can hold without straining. To get the maximum benefit, try the press without looking at your feet once it feels easy. Close your eyes and feel the movement instead of watching it. This forces your nervous system to rely on internal awareness, which is exactly the kind of training that transfers to real-world walking. Your feet will not be watching themselves when you walk across the kitchen at night. They need to know what they are doing without looking. For an easier beginner version, try just 1 foot at a time and skip the alternating set until both feet feel strong. Now, let's move on to the next exercise. Exercise number 4 is standing calf activation. Once the seated press has woken up the firing pattern, the next step is to train those muscles while bearing weight. Standing up changes everything. Now, gravity is involved. Your body weight is pressing down through the foot, and the calf has to do real work to lift and lower the heel. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that adults over 70 who practice standing calf work for just 5 minutes a day increased their calf strength by 31% in only 8 weeks. That kind of gain directly restores your toe-off power. This exercise helps most for anyone who has noticed their walking pace slowing down, their stride shortening, or their legs feeling heavy on stairs. It is the bridge between sitting and full walking. To perform this movement, stand behind a sturdy chair, a kitchen counter, or a wall. Place both hands lightly on the surface for balance. Your feet should be shoulder-width apart. Slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as you can. Hold that top position for 2 seconds, then lower your heels back down with total control. That counts as 1 repetition. Do 10 to 15 of these. Rest for 30 seconds, and then do a second set. The lift should be slow, and the lowering phase should be even slower. Most seniors rush the lowering phase, which is the most common mistake and the one that costs you half the benefit. The slower you lower your heel, the more work your calf muscle does. Another common mistake is bending the knees to cheat the movement. Keep your knees straight throughout. The work should come entirely from your calves, not your thighs. A third mistake is gripping the chair too hard and using your arms to pull yourself up. The hands are for balance only. If you feel your arms doing the lifting, lighten your grip until only your fingertips touch the surface. To progress, once the 2-foot version becomes easy, try the calf raise on 1 foot at a time. Hold the chair firmly, lift 1 foot off the floor, and rise up on the standing foot. Try 5 to 8 repetitions per side. Single leg calf raises produce much more force and translate directly to the power you need for walking. For a gentler version, do the raises while seated, pressing through the balls of your feet to lift your heels. Exercise number 3 is the heel to toe roll walk. Once the muscles are awake and strength is building, you need to train the actual rolling motion of a healthy step. From the moment your heel touches the ground, your weight should roll forward through the arch and finish with a strong push from the toes. This is the natural rhythm of human walking. It is the rhythm that toe-off weakness has stolen from you. The heel-to-toe roll walk rebuilds that rhythm 1 step at a time. A study in the archives of gerontology and geriatrics tracked 380 adults and found a 38% improvement in walking confidence after just 4 weeks of this practice. This exercise helps most for anyone whose walk feels flat or shuffly. To do this, find a flat, clear stretch of floor about 10 feet long, like a hallway. Stand at one end with a wall within reach for safety. Begin walking forward, but with one rule. Each step must end with a conscious toe push. Land on your heel, let your weight roll forward, and right as your foot is about to leave the ground, press your toes into the floor and feel the push. Walk 10 steps forward this way. Turn carefully, and walk 10 steps back. That is 1 set. Complete 3 sets total. Slow your walking speed down significantly. The faster you walk, the more your body falls back into old bad habits. You are not trying to walk normally yet. You are walking consciously. The biggest mistake people make is rushing through it and missing the toe push entirely. The second mistake is looking down at your feet, which throws off your posture. Keep your eyes forward and trust your feet to do the work. A third mistake is taking steps that are too long. Keep your stride normal. To deepen the benefit, try counting out loud as you walk. Say 1 as your right foot pushes off, and say 2 as your left foot pushes off. The counting locks your attention onto that toe-off moment. For an easier version, hold onto the wall or a counter with one hand throughout the walk to take balance out of the equation. Exercise number 2 is the backward step push. Walking backwards is one of the most underused tools in fitness, and it is a direct trainer for toe-off. When you step backwards, you cannot rely on your front leg to pull you forward. The only way to move is to push from the toes. Every single step is a rehearsal for a better toe-off. Research from the Mayo Clinic showed a 46% improvement in forward walking stability after just 6 weeks of backward walking practice. Training the toe-off in reverse rebuilds it for forward walking too. This helps most for seniors who feel unsteady when changing direction or who hesitate when stepping off a curb. To perform this, stand at one end of a clear hallway. Place your hand lightly against the wall for safety. Begin walking backwards slowly. With each step, the foot on the ground must press the toes into the floor to push your body back. Land on the ball of your back foot and then roll onto the heel. Take 10 steps backwards, then turn and walk forward to your starting point. Repeat for a total of 3 sets. Look forward, not down. The most dangerous mistake here is twisting your head to look behind you. Do not do this, as it throws off your balance. Trust the path you cleared before you started. A second mistake is rushing the steps. Each backward step should be slow and deliberate. To get the maximum benefit, once you feel stable, try doing it without the wall for support. This forces your nervous system to fully engage in maintaining balance. This is called proprioception, which is your body's sense of where it is in space. Now for the most important exercise of all, exercise number 1, the wall toe off drill. This is the movement that produced that 52% fall reduction in the clinical study. The wall toe off drill isolates the exact moment your foot pushes off the ground and trains it under a controlled load. Unlike the other exercises, this one rebuilds the precise neuromuscular pattern of the toe off itself. Studies found that this drill produced faster and more durable improvements in walking power than any other intervention. This is the exercise that matters most if you have ever caught your toe on a rug and felt that flash of panic. It rebuilds the half-second response that decides whether a stumble becomes a fall. To do the drill, stand facing a wall about an arm's length away. Place both hands flat on the wall at shoulder height. Step one foot back about 18 inches behind the other. Keep both feet flat on the ground. Now slowly rise up onto the toes of both feet at the same time. Press your toes firmly into the floor. Hold for 3 seconds. The single biggest mistake is using your arms to lift your body. The lift must come entirely from the toes and calves. A second mistake is bending the knees, which takes the work away from the calves. Keep both legs straight. A third mistake is letting the heels lift unevenly. Focus on rising both heels together at the same speed. To get the most out of this, try the drill with your eyes closed once it feels easy. This forces the muscles in your feet and ankles to do all the balancing work without help from your eyes. For a beginner variation, hold the wall more firmly and only rise up a small amount. Now, a very important safety warning. Before you begin these exercises, please take the following seriously. If you have recently had foot, ankle, knee, or hip surgery, please consult your doctor or physical therapist first. If you have a condition like plantar fasciitis or neuropathy, you may need modifications. Always practice near a sturdy surface. Wear non-slip shoes or go barefoot on a safe, clean surface. If you feel sharp pain or dizziness, stop immediately. Progress slowly because the goal is steady improvement over weeks. You have just learned what most adults over 70 will never be told. The difference between a confident walk and a frightened one often comes down to that single moment in your step. The toe push is the difference between forward momentum and instability. It is the difference between a stride that protects you and a stride that fails you. And it is something you can rebuild starting with your very next step. These 5 exercises work together in a specific order. The seated press wakes the muscles up, the standing activation builds strength, the roll walk teaches the rhythm, the backward push forces the work, and the wall drill locks the pattern into your nervous system. Practice consistently, as this routine takes less than 15 minutes a day. In the first week, your muscles might feel surprised or slightly sore. This is a good sign that the work is reaching the right place. By the second week, the toe push will start to feel more natural. By the third week, most people report a real difference in how steady they feel. By the sixth week, the new pattern becomes automatic. This gives you the freedom to move through your home and your neighborhood without that constant worry. You can walk to the mailbox, climb your front steps, and play with your grandkids without fear. That is what restoring your toe off gives back to you. Now, we want to hear from you. Have you noticed your steps feeling shorter or slower lately? Leave a comment with your age and where you are watching from. Drop a 1 if this video helped you, or a 0 if not. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here is to walking strong and steady every day.